The seagulls follow trawler. It's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.
Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Don't back down, double down. Don't back down, double down.
Yes, here we go. It is P.M.P. as Celtic go 9 points clear. Obviously, I don't think the points tally will be the main talking point of tonight. We're getting a bit used to what seems to be the main attraction of Scottish football right now. Certainly when it comes to matters regarding Celtic, we will get our teeth right into that. But it is a nice feeling going in to the World Cup break with a 9-point gap over our bottling rivals. The war is over. The Rebels have won, Phil McGinley. It doesn't matter what they put in our way. It doesn't matter what they try and do to stop this juggernaut that is Celtic Football Club right now. Whilst we have Ange, just running amok with the media right now, taking an absolute piss on the field, even not at our best, we still come up with the goods. Even when the manager's saying we knew the only goal they would score today, if they were going to get one, would be a penalty, it still just isn't enough. Celtic 9 points clear at the top. This is quality, Phil McGinley. The league's in the bag, mate. I'm calling it now.
Nice, mate. I'll start calling you Russell Yelovich, mate. That one. The league's in the bag. We've heard that before, but no, today is one of those sort of landmark moments, I think, along the way in the season, the way things have transpired. And I think when you look at how things have went, you compare the fortunes of both teams today. One team goes behind, they still look lethargic, had to rely on a very controversial VAR decision to save them a point. Our team goes 1-0 down today, and you could, in the stadium, you could see them go up the gears right in front of you, because it was like, right, we've got a game to win here, and you could see it happen with Celtic. There's a massive contrast in the way both teams dealt with their situation today, and we are now sitting 9 points clear at the top. What a way to be going into this World Cup break. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm feeling immensely confident, and I know people get worried about that, but I'm allowed to throw about the emotions of a normal fan. That's what we're here to do. And that is definitely what I'm going to do, is get carried away. And I am carried away right now that we are going to win the league. I can feel it in my bones. And I think it's going to be against the odds stacked against us by the officials right now. I hate all the paranoia stuff. The evidence is there. Call it what you like. The evidence is now there. We're going to talk about that, Phil. But before we get to that, Phil, it's your favourite bit. You do this bit better than me. So I'll lead you to tell us all about all that good stuff.
Yeah, obviously with the channel, we've got the good stuff, as we call it. So if you are new on the bus and you enjoy the content that we put out there, obviously over 3,000 people do, so that is a ringing endorsement that we must be doing something right. Then join that other 3,000. You know, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, if you want to get involved in our live comments and also bring up and interact with you along the way, then please do. You know, as you can see there on the right-hand side of the screen, get involved in all of that. And of course, if you're a long-time member of the bus, long-time subscriber, then by all means, hit that like button because it does help with the algorithm. And of course, you can go on social media and share the link. Spread the word of the Boise Bus. Helps us out massively, and we really, really do appreciate it.
Nice one, Phil. I told you he was better than me at that. I told you he was better than me at that.
Oh, dearie me.
And thank you for joining me at the last minute, Phil McGinley. It is a massive appreciation for that. It was nearly a solo bus journey tonight.
That's old school. That would have been good. We'll come up to a year on the bus. That was a good throwback, mate. You know.
Aye, the old solo P.M.Ps. I don't know how I used to do it. Fucking mental. But no, you can guide the bus tonight with me, Phil, and we will be here till around, I don't know, about 7:15. I think we've got till something like that. I'm going out to a 40th, by the way. There's lots of comments coming in about the shirts.
It's gallus, mate. I like it.
I like it. I mean, I hope folk don't think this is fancy dress. This is generally how I cut about. Folk are saying I've lost a bet. I'm like, yeah, I lost a bet. That's what we'll call it.
Oh, Pat O with
brand new.
Buys in a 60s monkeys wardrobe.
It's just at the wrapper, mate. I thought I was looking gallus. I give up, man. Anyway, now all that good stuff's out the road. It's time to talk about the action, Phil. You were at the game today.
I was indeed.
I don't know how to go about talking about the performance without talking about the refs. I mean, I just don't know where to start right now with this, Phil. It's beyond parody. It's beyond just, everyone makes mistakes and they want them leaving themselves out. It's beyond all that shit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go take you back to the TNF, right? It was a brilliant show, me, you and Mark. We had a conversation. This isn't me trying to be Nostradamus or any of that bullshit, but we spoke at length about the fact we had got wind Celtic were approaching the SFA. That was the leak to the Sun, remember? And we spoke about it. That Celtic were going set for talks or set to challenge the SFA on how they arrived at the Jota decision based on only one dodgy camera angle. I said I felt that was a soft approach. I felt it was an appeasement thing. And I told you that night, my honest opinion is there is a bigger smoking gun. And I think we have prime examples, the Bernaby and the Michael Smith. Michael Smith takes 10 seconds to say that's not a penalty. Bernaby, which is so far, so much more unclear, is a penalty and a yellow card. Go with that and tell them to explain to you the handball rule. And ask them how they arrived at the decisions with the 10-second look in and a wee word in the referee's ear at Tynecastle and yet a wee review on the Bernaby one and that decision. Tell me that, right? That is the problem. We have went with a soft approach. What did I tell you? The SFA could not believe their luck when they found out that Celtic are challenging them, but it's about a camera angle that Celtic paid the most money for, that Celtic voted emphatically for. This is your technology. This is what you pay the most money for. What's the problem? So, one of the cameras are off, but it's so soft. And remember I said, it will take, and I think I was referring to the derby more, but is that what you want to get to when you're seeing inconsistencies and decisions? Do you want it to come to a point where we're dropping points? Well, today we went 1-0 down, Phil, because that handball rule has been exposed now. There is 3 prime examples. I've named 2 already, and then you get today's. You tell me what a handball is now. And what has happened is we have given them an opportunity to take the piss today. Because, Jenk, we've put them on the back foot. They didn't give a monkeys. They couldn't believe. It was like Christmas when they found out. They thought it was like Christmas when they found out, oh my God, it's about camera angles that they pay the most money for. This is brilliant. And the party political answer they gave, I nearly called that one word for word on Thursday. Again, this isn't me trying to be a smart ass about it, Phil. And I think today, you've seen, if you give these bastards an inch, they will take it a mile. That simple, Phil. And today we've seen that exposed. Now, in my honest opinion, I can't sit and rant and rave about James Forrest one 3 weeks ago and then say Matt O'Reilly's isn't a penalty. In my opinion, they are both penalties. One though wasn't. One was decided in 10 seconds. So now we have to go back to Celtic and say, stop trying to just pat us all on the head. Stop trying to go, see, look, we challenged the SFA. It's all utter bullshit. You went in with a soft angle. You knew it would appease the support. It was a tick boxing exercise, Phil. That's all that was.
Yep.
And they knew the political party broadcast answer they would get from the SFA. We all knew it. And now what's happened is today we end up in a situation where a ref has took the piss. Not just him, but VAR. They have took the piss and they have given a decision. They literally refused a more Stonewall one at Tynecastle because there was actually a further gap between Forrest and Michael Smith than there was from the ball leaving the Ross County player to Matt O'Reilly today.
Yep.
They want to do a proper review on that one. Mate, we gifted them that. In my opinion, we walked into that. Absolutely walked into that. And as far as I'm concerned, this is what's going to happen. If you're going to take the bull by the horns, take the bull. Don't take some fucking wee calf. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's take the bull by the horns, go for the juggler, and tell the truth. Tell the truth, Celtic. If you think there's decisions going against you, go for the main one. Go for the main one. And we've now seen a third example of the handball rule being completely and utterly inconsistent, incomprehensible, and by the way, never going in our favour. All three of those examples.
It goes back to the that word subjective again. I'm a bit of an old school football fan. I like things to be in sort of black and white. If it hits somebody's arm, then if the rules are, it's going to be a penalty, then I would just say, okay, well, we can't really contest it. But again, they've made too much of a grey area with this whole subjective and whatnot. Now, do you remember, obviously, after the Hearts game, the initial one where this handball with Michael Smith happened, after the game, Robbie Nielsen says something interesting where he went, on Monday,
really?
I'm going to... well, interested in the fact that it related to VAR and the controversy.
I'm teasing, Phil. I'm teasing. I've started already.
He talked about he was going to something on Monday. I think it was something all the managers were going to get more explanation on VAR. And I would really like to know what was explained at that, because he was mumping and moaning as usual after that game. He says, on Monday, we're going to a conference about VAR and we'll get more clarification on it then. It's like, what did you actually get told? Because nobody seems to know. I found something really interesting today when I was watching the tail end of the Rangers game, because as I went into Celtic Park, obviously in the concourse, they were showing the screens. Many people huddled around the telly. So I watched it, and obviously that decision happened where they got the penalty from VAR. And a graphic came up befire Tavernier hit the penalty, and it said penalty decisions post-VAR and pre-VAR. So there'd been 63 games and 19 penalties before VAR was brought in. Since VAR had been brought in, there'd been 25 games and 15 penalties. That is an astounding ratio. And I bet you majority of those 15 are for handballs. And again, it just seems like it's different rules for different teams. Different refs have got different interpretations. Look through the week, Livingston and Aberdeen, there was 3 penalties awarded in that game, all for handball. And it's just like nobody has a clue anymore of what this actually is. And
it just seems to be to suit them. It seems to be to suit some... whatever team is the in vogue at the time, and that ain't ever going to be us, by the way. What I'm also going to say, right, is when it comes to penalties, Connor Carr was in the group chat. We've conceded 5 penalties in our last 4 games.
Mental with. I know we seldom concede penalties as well, and we've been getting them like left, right, and centre against us now. Insane. That was 2 at Hearts. Obviously today, Dundee United last week. If you want to include the 2 Real Madrid, then Real Madrid's European game. It's a bit different. VAR's been in play in Europe for a while now, but domestically, that's an absurd ratio at the moment.
Totally.
And again, it's all about handballs. That seems to be the contention. And the only one that's different is Jens, the second one at Tynecastle, where even in real time you could see that's a clumsy challenge there, but these oh no, sorry, it's the first one at Tynecastle. No, I'm thinking about our handball that got denied. That was
Yep.
the 50-50. Carter Vickers goes in with Cammy Devlin.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still an insane ratio. And yeah, as I say, the numbers today came up literally on the screen at the St Mirren Rangers game, post VAR and pre-VAR, and 63 to 19 before it, and now 25 to 15 after it. And I don't know if there's been any others awarded in the other games that kicked off at 3 o'clock today. Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all.
Phil, where's your patience levels at with VAR? I want your opinion on this. Where is your patience levels? Genuinely though, like, are you at a stage where you think this is actually still going to work? Do you think this can be smoothed out? Or do you think we've actually, the decision-making process is now seems even further backwards and worse than what it was before? Where's your patience levels at this, pal?
Before VAR came in, I wanted to give the referees the benefit of the doubt, and I did think this will help, because I've always been under the impression the referees are just abysmal in this country. Massive problem that we don't have fully professional referees. Down in like England and stuff, it's fully professional. So I always thought, well, VAR coming in, maybe it'll make them better at their job, but we've gave them the tools to make them better at their job, and it seems like they're getting worse. They're somehow regressing and getting even worse at it, and my patience is very much wearing thin. The very idea of coming on having to talk about more controversy, if you want to call it that, it's just like another game, another VAR problem. I literally said to the boys I came in the gate today who serves the Paradise Windfall, I says, I'm just hoping there'll be no VAR problems today. And lo and behold, here it is again. Groundhog Day strikes. Yeah, more VAR to be spoken about. And it's just like, my patience is really wearing thin now. And it's like, and they will continue this. I mean, this isn't just going to go away. They're not going to put their hands up and go, we got it wrong. We're just going to scrap it now. They've started it, so they're going to have to just push on with it. But how they get better at it and how they improve it, I don't know, man. I've completely lost ideas with that one, man.
There's a lot of calls coming in here that they want us to say it's because of religion and stuff. It's not a road I'm going to go down. What I will say, undeniably, is I think the decisions have went against Celtic, and it's hard to say something isn't afoot here. Something stinks to the high heavens. I don't know what buttons it is we've pushed yet again at these bastards. Is it perhaps the withdrawal of the Scotland players? Has that been yet another reason for us to get picked on this weekend? But I am telling you right now, the decisions are going against Celtic. They are going against Celtic, and it's hard to say, but it looks to me deliberate. It does. You don't get the 3 examples we gave, and I know people will come in and go, well, what about Andrew Shinney's one? Well, Andrew Shinney's hands were up here, and funnily enough, we had a 2-goal, gap at that point, so it was an easy one to give. That'll be the part of the evens itself out ruling.
Yeah, of course.
Look when we're conceding the penalties, guys. Look when we're conceding the penalties, when we're level or when we're 1 ahead. That's what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to say now is, if your patience is wearing thin, I'm going to read to you a few quotes from Ange today, because you were at the game, Phil. I want your take on this, in fact, before I read out the quotes. Am I right in saying Ange hung back at half-time to grab the ref? Well, not to grab him physically, but to have a word, shall we say, to call him mate. Let's put it that way.
He did indeed. My sources can confirm that did indeed happen. And when do you see Ange Postecoglou do that? He's never done that in his whole time as Celtic manager. He usually is very much one that will say things like, that's not an excuse today. They take it on the chin. Sorry, I forgot Tony Mowbray, PTSD with that quote. But anyway, he usually just let it go. But yeah, that was out of character today. And that shows you how bad it must have been. And I can tell you, I hadn't even heard of the referee today. When somebody said it's a guy named David Monroe, and I was like, I've never heard this guy. That's usually a bad sign. Whenever you get a sort of like first-time referee, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I'm sure this guy's
Phil,
never refereed for games.
Let's go back to the TNF again. What did we say the TNF?
Oh yeah, the higher numbers of
Where are all the
referees.
officials coming from?
Where are they coming from? Aye.
Yeah, but I said, I was like, think about it. If there's a higher volume of officials required per game, then there must be some getting elevated. Lo and behold, today it's a ref they've deserved of.
Exactly, and he was abysmal. Outside of the stuff with VAR, it was one of those games again where you knew, a team comes to Glasgow, they haven't got much of a game plan, or it's sitting frustrated. Every single little 50-50 foul, free kick, free kick to Ross County, break up the play, stop us having any momentum.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah, it was one of those performances. And when obviously they went 1-0 up, you do get that sinking feeling where it's like, you know, if Giacomakis, for instance, comes on and he's the type of guy that just throws himself at everything, you just know if he brushes against a Ross County defender, the guy's going to go down, free kick. I mean, that was one of the worst in terms of teams that I have seen come to Glasgow over the years and just trying time waste and just, you know, all the black magic, the dark arts that we talk about being streetwise and going down and wasting time. Ross County were just one of the worst for it today.
What sort of dialogue do you think Ange is having with the ref at halftime? Because he's a very measured man. I'm going to read out the quotes he gave to the media. And there was another quote that I heard him say, I think it was on Clyde, and he'd said, I'm not going to speak any further on it. And almost like a Mourinho, if I speak, I get in trouble. That's what he was alluding to. And the spin straight away by that host, Gordon Duncan, was, see, Celtic fans, even your manager wants to focus on the football, not the VAR. And I'm like, no, it was a thinly veiled, if I give you my honest opinion on this, I'll be through the, I'll get a ban. That's what he was saying. Stop fucking dressing it up like, oh, no, we just got on with it. That's not what happened at all. But that is the spin. That is the spin that's happening, right? But Ange to the media, from my perspective, they were only ever going to score today by a penalty. That's what they got. I'll leave it to the powers that be. I've said my piece on it. I'm just focusing on a group of players who are doing this club proud. We've got to keep winning, score a couple of goals more than the opposition, a couple of goals more. Notice what he's saying there. Why is he saying a couple of goals more? Because really, to get 3 points, you only need to score one more goal. He's saying they're getting gifted one a game now. And he said, and not let anything else get in the way. We know what he's talking about. I think his patience is wearing thin like yours, Phil. I think we've got a manager now utterly baffled at what he's watching. But, again, people might say, Ange, you're beginning to get that Celtic famous paranoia. Listen, this guy's looking at this with a completely set of obsidiary eyes. Okay? Now, yes, he may now, because he's been at Celtic for a while, have Celtic bias, etc., a wee bit in him. But I don't think that's how he comes over in terms of how he views something. I think his view of Scottish football, how it's run, is very much from I've got a quarter of a century experience in the game here. What the fuck is this shit show? I think that's how he's looking at it. I don't think he's going in going, oh, well, there was referees in the 60s and all that I know were against us. I think he's thinking about Lanarkshire refs and all that nonsense. I think he's looking at it, though, going, this is now silly. This is now ridiculous. And you know what? The decisions are going against us. And that's just fact, not because of any integrated bias that I've got, because I'm new to the country, still. I've only been here 15 months. I'm literally calling it as I see it. That's what I think Ange is. He's just going, right, they don't give us the decisions. He is not happy about this, Phil, right now. And no one should be. No one should be right now. I wonder, do you think Celtic do go back to the SFA now and start getting clarification? How did we arrive at the appointment of a ref who's maybe making one of his first of a handful maybe of SPFL appearances, if ever before? When we've just put in a complaint last week, is that what the pushback is? Aye? Do you think that's right? You're putting a complaint to us? Here's a dafty. Because there was moments in time, just other wee bits. I'll give you an example. He doesn't put one of the their players off, right? When they picked up an injury. Then the second half, Matt O'Reilly's told to go off the field. He then forgets to wave O'Reilly back on, even though it was 3 seconds before that he told him to go off the park, despite the fact he hadn't done that with their player in the first half. You're going, oh, fuck off, mate. This is either really amateur hour, and you're not at the level to be refereeing, not just Celtic matches, but SPFL matches, or what is this? What am I watching? What the fuck is going on here? We could talk about it all night, Phil.
Yeah.
And it's one of these ones where I think everyone's got an opinion on it now that's getting stronger and stronger. This is the SFA or the SPFL, whoever it is in charge of this, they've made the noose that they are tying around their necks right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe we could see legal action. That's where it's going.
Yeah.
I think people, I've seen comments about the Bunnet earlier on in the chat.
Yeah.
I think Fergus McCann would already now be going, I want the dialogue. I know you'll have a recording of the dialogue between the referee and the VAR room. I want to hear it. Now, I want transparency now. I want that all in print. Or I want it, I want the audio tape of it, because you will have recorded it, because you'll use it for training and all that. So let's get there. But other than that, though, Phil, we have to look at the league table.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Celtic did get the job done today. From 1-0 down. Utter magic from Hatate. Hatate, for me, put to bed this 60-minute bullshit. I thought he was, this is a guy who can play 90 minutes and be effective for 90 minutes. And actually, when we needed him, he came to the fore. David Turnbull, tidy we finished through the keeper's legs. But it's Hatate having the balls and the technical ability to have the close dribbling skills, Phil, there, just to dance around their players, and the composure for the cutback to just, it's on a plate. It's a FIFA goal by the end,
Oh, it's a sweaty. Yeah, it's a sweaty goal in FIFA. Aye. I've conceded too many of them in my time. A sweaty goal, yeah.
But that's a moment of magic from Hatate, who is a player of serious ability. Haksabanovic had a frustrating afternoon. His booking and all that, I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, I'm going back to refs now. His goal, no backlift, no one's even realised he's shooting until it's hit the back of the net. Correct. Brilliant. And to do all that under the pressure, under the circumstances, under the rage, I thought was super impressive. And again today, Ange has made rotations, and it's worked. It's worked. We've got the 2-1 win, and that was with they were shown at half time. Obviously, Moy was one of them, right? I think he was just like getting to play with Jota and Giakoumakis. I don't know, but they were doing they were passing the ball about, and you're looking at Giakoumakis and Jota going, two fully fit guys that walk into our first team any day of the week, and we're happy with them in there. Delighted with them in there. They're sitting on the bench. You know what I mean? And you're like, we've got the rotation right. We've came out with full points. We've lost one game all year, Phil McGinley. We're 9 points clear going into the World Cup break. Where do you stand on the league table just now in the league championship destination?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. It's ours to lose. That's essentially it. It's ours to lose now. And the way things are going, we look at one league loss in a calendar year. That's not too bad going, is it? So you've got to be pretty confident going into the second half of the season. I do think when we come back from the World Cup break, they will have a different manager, but that's a different story for another time. I think the change is coming now, but we'll deal with that accordingly when we need to,
He's resigning.
I think so. I think so as well. I think today's the final straw for them. But
he actually said, I don't know if you heard, just to come in on that, we did his post-match interview, and he actually said, I'm going to have a meeting, or we'll have a meeting with the board to discuss what's going on and all that. And he's gone. That's almost like he's calling the meeting. And I think that's him. He's going to walk. It's far too little, too late. With the gap is 9 points, but there's a 17 goal difference as well in Celtic's favour, Phil. It's 10 points clear right now.
As effectively it is. But as I said at the top of the show, and again, it shows how their spirit is broken. Both teams in a similar scenario today, they go 1-0 down and they still look lethargic and out of ideas, and they needed to have a crazy VAR decision go their way. But in the day with us, even in the stadium, like last week against Dundee United, when United got that late equaliser, I felt, me personally, and I think many people in the stadium did feel like, no, we're going to go on and still win this. We'll still make chances. Today, I felt when we went 1-0 down, there was something different in the air, even though there was longer left in the clock. I think with the manner, the way things were going, with the referee being effectively at it, if you want to say it, he was essentially at it, and the way Ross County were just sitting with 10 men behind the ball. Kyogo had missed a really good chance in the first half. You were starting to think, can we come back again from this sort of position? But as I said again at the top of the show, you saw the way we just went up the gears, like right in front of your own eyes. It just happened where we just instantly thought, right, no more fucking about here. And, Ross County were just chasing shadows for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. And then, the two goals, Haksabanovic is one in particular. You're right, seeing the stadium, when he hits that shot from where I sit in the lower Jock Stein stand, I didn't even think it was a shot. And it was one of those ones where I'm following the path of the ball and it goes in the far corner. And it's one of them, like, a delayed reaction. Like, I didn't think there was any ferocity behind the shot. And he's literally passed it in the net, not too different to maybe like Callum McGregor a few years ago against Rangers, where he just passes it into the net. That's effectively what Haksabanovic did today. Just just along the ground, there was no real. He just got it so right with the angle that the goalkeeper couldn't reach it. And also, Hatate does amazing for the equaliser, but fair play to David Turnbull as well for the composure in front of goal as well, to control that as well. Instead of just putting his laces through it right away, which a lot of players might have just done and snatched at it. No, he actually stops it first and even puts it through the goalkeeper's legs just for we extra panache on it as well, just nutmegs the keeper. But yeah, I did find it interesting as well once we did go 2-1 up, all of the time wasting. It's magic how that happens sometimes at Celtic Park, where a team's time wasting and fucking about, and then the second we go ahead, that all stops. The goalkeeper's taking the quick goal kicks again. The game plan's right out the window. So it was a satisfying one to get that over the line, because we've seen in recent weeks, Russell, we've had like 2-1 wins against Motherwell at home, and the atmosphere coming away from it was, we were a bit sluggish today. We were a bit sluggish the other day, but there was something really satisfying about getting that one today.
I thought there was defiance in them.
Yeah, there was defiance. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Aye. And I think you're absolutely right. I think they've seen their manager approach that ref as they're walking off, and they're like, oh, Gaffer's fucking getting a hold of him. That he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. So I think, well, I'm guessing. I reckon Ange's brought it up at halftime. Don't fucking think they're beating us. Don't think because they're going to get decisions like this, that can stop us. And I think the players did have the bit between their teeth. I think Ange actually used that expression as well in one of his post-match interviews. They've got the bit between their teeth and they're going, fuck you. Do you know what? We're the best team in the country. We'll prove it anyway. That's what we did. I want to also talk about when we had to dig in. I thought that was epitomised today by a bus favourite. I thought Tony Ralston was fucking excellent, Phil.
Yep.
Tony Ralston's challenges at times. There was one where he's cut over. He's almost at left centre half. And he makes a brilliant challenge when it looked like they were breaking clear 2-on-2 situation. And you look at Ralston and you just go, look at that. That's how to defend. Yeah. That is how to defend. And again, if we want fairness in the selection process for Celtic players, and we discuss that constantly with Giakoumakis and Kyogo, for me, Tony Ralston on form is the first choice right back. This is based on form, not based on Croatian caps. I don't know why folk go to that argument. If someone's out of form, they're out of form. They could be a fucking World Cup winner for all I care. If Tony Ralston's playing better than them, then the bricky starts. I even think the term bricky is now used because one's described as a Croatian international, one's described as a bricky. So, see, there's no argument to make. You have to be an idiot to think otherwise. Well, that's not really forming an argument. Use your eyes. Look what's happening. Juranovic, lazy at set piece, caught out, brilliant goal midweek. Today, was he dropped? Was it rotation? I'm sure Ange will call it rotation. I hope he was dropped. Not in personal Juranovic, but I would like to see players getting picked based on either loss of form dropping out or in form retaining your place. For me, Tony Ralston shouldn't be out the team for our next match, the first game back after the World Cup. Albeit, I expect Juranovic to start that, but I think that's unfair.
He was very good today, and you're right at the point we were trying to dig in, because going forward, I've always felt that Ralston always delivers a good ball, but I felt like everyone's crossing the day was a bit off. But of course, when it came to today, was about just getting the result. And when we were under the caution a wee bit, when the Ross County were starting to throw a wee bit of caution to the wind, and sense that they might still be able to snatch something from it. No, he had some crucial moments and kept us in it. But yeah, I agree totally about he should be. I mean, they talk about like, oh, he's a Croatian international, so he's got to be.
It's not even
star. And it's like, it's not even. It isn't at all, because Ralston has proven he's one of the most improved. People say Greg Taylor, most improved player under Ange. For me, it's Tony Ralston. It really is. I mean, Taylor's been phenomenal in what he's done and how he's turned around, but I think Ralston was so far out the picture, so far out to be where he is now, and for fans just to be so dismissive of it, I feel like at times, we talk about how we get flack for saying things like, Juranovic, we don't fancy like, oh, you hate Juranovic and all that. Well, we can easily flip it on them and go, well, you must hate Ralston by that logic then. And it's like, we're not saying that either of them are shite. It's like, if we just have to prefer one to the other, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And Ralston has definitely proven that, he's a good threat going forward. And obviously when he needs to dig in and just, stick a tackle in there, fucking grind it out for us as we had to do at points today, he's more than capable of it. So again, this whole defensive mechanism that people have got when it comes to criticising Juranovic, it's like, calm down, guys.
Well,
Calm
that's
down.
it. But see, at the end of the day, Juranovic hasn't had a good season. Fact.
No, he hasn't.
End of.
No.
Period. Right? That is just when Ralston's been given his sporadic displays, never let us down once. Has he been given a run of games? Has he been afforded that luxury where he's in real full flow? Like all players need at times. No, he's not. Yet today, I thought he was exactly the polar opposite of what we've seen at Juranovic's worst moments this season. Ralston was the polar opposite of that today. He epitomizes what it takes sometimes. See your team, you couldn't have 11 Hatates, for example, Phil, right? You couldn't. You can't have 11 Ralstons either. What you need in your team is a blend. And I think sometimes it's too easy to always go for technical ability in modern football. Sometimes the other forces in football still are important, still are crucial, Phil McGinley, and that is that desire, that heart, that fucking I give a fuck attitude that Tony Ralston brings to the team. You need that sprinkled throughout your team, just the same amount as you need the brilliance of Jotas and Hatates with, twinkle toes. You know what I mean? You need all that as well. But this is this is how you get the recipe, the perfect blend for a good football team. You can't have it all one way or all the other way. But I think for me, Ralston today, Ange has got obviously the Sydney Cup. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, well, in fact, obviously Ralston will start the 2 games. But hopefully that period of time, Ange does take stock of that situation a wee bit as well. And goes, do you know what? Look at this guy's attitude first and foremost, because he does continually talk about, I sign people, not players. Well, there's a person I want in my team, let alone the player. And by the way, see, as a player, he's outshining them in assists. He's far better defensively right now as well. The numbers don't lie. Same as last season. I think the argument's there now to be made. Fucking G. Ralston run.
I don't think Ralston's had a fair crack of the whip this season. I was genuinely surprised going into this season that it's been so skewed in Juranovic's favour, the number of starts he's had. It's like last season it was about 50-50 where he got sort of game time in equal measure, but this season I was like, Ralston's not done that much wrong to basically be. It was a few weeks ago. It was he'd only started like the 2 League Cup games or something up at Ross County and Motherwell, and it was like, it's like he deserves a wee bit more than that. And I'm glad to see him starting to get more game time. Hopefully today, and obviously you see with these City Cup games coming up, he gets a bit. Ange can take that into account. Now, there's a question I wanted to throw at you. What did you make of Giakoumakis' performance when he came on the day? Because we've talked about, is he trying a bit too hard at times? There was another couple of chances again today. And don't get me wrong, Diogo also had a phenomenal chance in the first half when he was through and he's cut his shot too fine and just went by.
And then that leads though, Phil, sorry to cut in, but see that missed chance? That then leads to him trying that audacious lob. Yeah, it would have been brilliant when it came off, but you're like, I wasn't really on, was it? And I think that's when you're getting to that trying too hard stage, because he misses one that he should have got. And then, of course, he then starts trying and, wanting to create almost the impossible to happen. So you're to impress. Giakoumakis came on and thought some of his hold-up play today was excellent. There was times there was layoffs that were really, really cute. Don't know if you've seen the elbow he got in the face, Phil, right? See when you see the TV replays, I thought, fucking hell, he's down like a sack of tatties again. Then you see the blood.
Was that where that came from? Right, okay.
It was an elbow, but was it intentional? Probably not. However, his elbow again isn't up. Well, you can't really have it that high. Giakoumakis is a big boy. If you're getting up to his chops and your elbow's in an unnatural position, it doesn't need to be. Albeit, I don't think it was he's trying to elbow him. But I just think, well, you can't shield the ball with your elbows up there. You can't. It's that simple.
There was an incident during the game. You might be able to enlighten us because you were watching it on screen, so you would have the benefit of replays. There was a moment in the second half in the middle of the park where I think Hatate gets caught by a Ross County player. Hatate goes down, but right away the Ross County player suddenly throws himself to the ground and holds his face and lies there for ages. What even happened there? Did he just con the referee essentially? And the ref
I think there's a movement. There's a movement from Hatate, an instinctive one. No damage done, Phil. Load of bullshit. Simple as that. Move on. That simple, mate. Honestly, just nonsense. The game's absolutely fucked just now, right?
Yes.
Because you can't touch someone without it being a foul. All this stuff,
Yeah.
Honest mistake. I can see in the comments there, mate. Like, just let's go easy. Or stuff like that. Not having all that religious stuff, mate. Let's drop that now. Right? End of. Or I'll need to remove you, and I don't really want to do that. The bus is, open to all, but I'm not having all that religious crap in it, mate. There's no need for it. But yeah, I just think I think the game's in a position right now. The refs are almost like they're blowing for any sort of contact anywhere. Yeah. The Haksabanovic one. He said, I fucking never even touched him in the first half. Haksabanovic, the boy just falls over in front of him. You can see Haksabanovic going, I cannot understand what you're giving here. But is that the same as some of these VAR calls or handball calls? No, I don't think so, Phil. Because my belief is that's the way football's going right now. Does it suit our game? No. Our game's meant to be physical. It's meant to be a real test that way as well. It just seems so strange. It just seems so strange right now. And the game's gone a bit, eh?
When you were saying earlier on as well, talk about legal action and stuff like that. To me, something in the air right now feels like we're heading towards what we saw with the Dougie McDonald thing in 2011, where, that happened where he get caught basically lying, where he told Stephen Craven, the linesman, basically cover for me essentially here, because I've made a mess of this, and just say that it wasn't a penalty. It feels like we're building to something similar right now, like it's going to be like a volcano erupting. Something in the air is heading that way right now, and I feel like are we going to see a ref strike again like we saw a decade ago? But Celtic copped all the flack for that one, even though we called a referee out and caught him cheating essentially. And it's like, apparently we were the bad guys and all that. But I feel like something's brewing right now, and we're heading down that path again where something's in the corner.
Yes.
Regarding the refs.
And again, to go back to it, the reason I was annoyed initially on Thursday about the camera angle thing is I knew what the reply would be, right?
Yeah.
And probably not just me. I don't mean that. Oh, boys, seen you. I think we all knew the SFA can kind of take Celtic to school on that, going, well, you pay for it, you voted for it. You knew the exact type of technology it was that was getting brought in. You knew it was the Poundland stuff, not the good stuff. So all that good stuff. You know what I mean, though?
All the good stuff.
But what's interesting is, right now, I think Celtic have brought it up. When I think about it balanced, they've brought it up, though, because they've got wind. That camera wasn't calibrated at that point. And someone's told them that, right? Someone's went, that camera wasn't. I know all this bullshit. Oh, they were doing a close-up of the managers at the time. That didn't happen. That's not fucking happened. I genuinely think they've forgot to calibrate that camera. Then once that Jota thing goes and they go, right, get camera 6 up. Oh no. And because then they do get it all calibrated, and that's how you get that for the Maeda goal, remember? Because they did have the angle for that.
They did for Maeda's, yep.
My hunch is, I'm not trying to be in the know, it's just my hunch. I think they have set up incorrectly that game. I don't think it's deliberate, that aspect, but I definitely think they have not calibrated that camera, whatever camera number it is. There's only fucking 6, for God's sake. How difficult can it be? And I think Alan Burrows came out to kind of defend Motherwell. That's what folk aren't getting. They're thinking he's going, oh no, there was another camera there, so it was definitely the right call. I think he's going, wait, I paid extra to make sure that camera was there. Why is there no footage of it? That's what I think he was saying. I don't think he was trying to do it with any anti, the decision agenda or to defend.
He's just protecting Motherwell's name in it and basically saying, we've got nothing to do with this. We've not done anything wrong.
Well, I think you said as well, we paid extra to have the extra cameras. He goes, that should have been on. And I think they forgot to calibrate that with the Hawkeye. And then they've only clicked once it's came to making that decision, Phil. And they've went, get that turned on. That's what I think's happened.
Oh, wow. Oh, and again, it sort of goes to the whole point of, did you make that offside decision then without a conclusive angle? So that is another can of worms opened up into it. So it's like, it's a bit of I don't know if their statements really covered themselves in glory with that one, is it?
I like that term. Oh, the calibration, boys, eh? Phil, it's been 45 minutes. It's 169 live.
And you're off to a night out. You're off to a night out as well.
So. Dressed like this, So, yes, we will call it there. It's been another eventful day. Guys, look, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the next 4 weeks of a break. We are 9 points clear at the top of the table, 17 goals clear. It is a gap that will not be caught. Rest assured. Just remember, the next time you see Celtic will be December, right? There'll be a couple of games, and then before you know it, we strengthen that team even further, right? This is what's happening right now. We are about to go into the summer with another 35 million gains straight off the bat, right? For the Champions League. We're going to go into the summer with another extra 10,000 season tickets that our rivals can't sell because of our stadiums. We're about to go into the summer with assets all over our team, all around our team, that we're going to make mega profit on as and when we decide to sell. And we've got a manager there that every supporter bar none wants at the helm. Yeah. It is good to be a Celtic supporter right now. Thank you very much, Phil McGinley. You are a legend. I'm away out in my pretty green shirt, which I'm just, I'm getting absolutely torn apart for. I think folk think I'm at it. I've got hundreds of daft shirts like that. I thought it was cool. Maybe it's just me. I tell you, it was cool though. Chris Sutton, good night.
Some of his comments about me deliberately trying to cause controversy. Well, I work in the media now, and you've got someone sitting there next to you who's an embarrassment to the media profession. He's an apologist. He's a charlatan.